You know that feeling, right? That little tug, that familiar nagging guilt when you finally sit down?
Yeah.
Maybe you're just having a coffee or just being still for a minute, and that voice pops up.
The inner critic.
Exactly, the one saying, you're being lazy, you should be doing something productive. It's relentless, isn't it? Almost feels like a default setting sometimes.
It really is. For so many of us, that feeling of shame when we're not actively doing something, it's just baked in. It's a reflex.
Yeah.
As if needing a break, wanting a moment to just be is some kind of personal failing, not, a biological need.
Exactly, and that reflex, that constant drive, well, that's what this deep dive is all about today.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission is really to dismantle that guilt, to finally pull it apart. We want to show you why rest isn't some kind of luxury you get after you've nearly killed yourself working.
Right. It's not a reward.
It's fundamental, non-negotiable, really, for your physical health, your mental state, your emotions, even your creativity and recovery. We're going to uncover how really genuinely prioritizing rest can transform your energy, sharpen your focus, and just bring some much-needed balance back.
It's pretty fascinating how this whole rest equals laziness idea got so stuck in our heads, isn't it?
It really is.
From everything we looked at, it's clear a lot of people were just raised that way. You hear these stories, right? Parents pushing chores first thing Saturday morning, or just this constant message that your value comes from what you produce.
Yeah, the output.
I remember one account, someone felt like they'd broken a sacred vow if they weren't hustling 24/7.
Yeah.
And that belief, eventually, it led to a pretty severe psychological breakdown for them. It's almost like we were trained, conditioned to see our worth only in nonstop activity.
So it's bigger than just us. It's a societal thing. Like, we've been trained to be, I don't know, like little industrialized machines.
That's a good way to put it.
Where your value is only about your output. And if you're not constantly churning something out, constantly doing, then you're worthless in that model.
Right.
It makes you feel like you're letting yourself down, or maybe your team, your family, if you actually dare to take a break. It's this constant worry. Am I good enough if I'm not always busy?
That really hits home. And I keep thinking about that one line, there are no prizes for productivity in this life.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it cuts right through that fear, doesn't it? That whole
yeah.
drive-based mentality, this conditioning. It's basically shaped us to think that someone who prioritizes rest is somehow, unproductive, lazy.
Yeah.
Within that specific framework, anyway.
Yeah.
It pushes you onto this endless treadmill of must-dos, always worried you're not measuring up, making it incredibly hard to just switch off. It's like our worth gets tied to how exhausted we are.
Okay, so if we've kind of diagnosed the root of this guilt, this pervasive feeling, the next logical step is, how do we untangle it? Where's the line between real necessary rest and, actual laziness? Because they are not the same thing.
Absolutely not. And making that distinction, that's critical. Rest, fundamentally, is intentional. It's a practice.
Okay.
It's about consciously stopping, really tuning in to your body, your mind, and then actually responding to what they need. It's purposeful. It aligns with your values. Like self-care, it's an active choice to refill your tank.
Right.
And here's the kicker. When you truly rest, properly rest, it doesn't actually slow you down in the long run. It builds momentum.
Rest builds momentum. That feels so counterintuitive to everything we're taught.
It does, doesn't it?
So on the other side, then, what's laziness? If it's not just stopping.
Laziness is quite different. It usually comes from avoidance, not a real lack of energy.
Avoidance, okay.
It's when you have the capacity, you have the energy, but you choose not to act. And that choice, it often comes from somewhere deeper: fear, feeling overwhelmed, maybe even those irrational beliefs we carry around.
It's like what?
Like that paralyzing thought, if I can't do it perfectly, I just shouldn't bother. Or, I'm so far behind, what's the point?
Right, yeah.
And unlike rest, which actually energizes you, laziness tends to drain your energy. It leaves you feeling stuck, stagnant, often guilty, and usually even more overwhelmed than before. It's a cycle, really. It just feeds itself.
It's interesting, too, if you zoom out, nature gets this right.
Totally.
Animals rest without apology. Predators conserve energy between hunts. Trees drop their leaves. They go dormant in winter. Nature doesn't seem to feel guilty about its cycles.
Not at all. It just is.
And we're part of nature. We're built to oscillate between activity and rest, too. Our nervous systems just weren't designed for this constant on mode. We're organic, not machines.
Exactly. And fighting that natural rhythm, that always leads to problems, health-wise. Which brings us right to the benefits, the really profound benefits of bringing true rest into your life.
Okay.
When you intentionally pause, replenish, The gains are huge. They touch every single part of your well-being.
Let's start with the physical. That's often where we feel it first, right?
Yeah.
More energy, sharper focus, way less burnout when you rest properly.
Definitely.
And here's something really crucial. Like, if you don't choose to rest, your body will choose for you.
Oh, absolutely.
And usually at the worst possible time, like getting that horrible flu right before a big deadline, or just hitting a wall and collapsing on the sofa because you physically can't go on.
And it goes deeper than just dodging illness. Think about sleep. When we sleep, our brain is actually incredibly active.
Right. It's not just switching off.
No, it's busy flushing out waste products, like a nightly deep clean for your gray matter. There's even research linking this process to preventing serious stuff long-term, like dementia.
Wow. Okay.
Plus, getting enough rest helps regulate the production of these little things called cytokines. They're proteins that help your immune system function properly, fight off infections, and keep inflammation in check. So you're literally boosting your body's defenses.
So it's not just feeling less tired. It's about building real, robust health for the long haul. And it's not just the brain and immune system, is it? Think about muscles.
Good point.
A muscle you don't use gets weak, right? Atrophies. But one you work constantly without any recovery time. It fatigues, it breaks down, eventually it fails. The strongest muscles are the ones that get worked, then rested, then worked again. And that principle applies to our whole being, our minds included.
Which leads perfectly into the next area, mental and emotional restoration. This is where rest really, really shines.
For creativity, for instance.
Absolutely. Rest helps with crucial cognitive functions, consolidating memories, solving problems, putting new ideas together. It lets the brain kind of unfocus, engage in what scientists call diffuse mode thinking.
Diffuse mode, okay.
That's when it makes those surprising links between things that seem totally unrelated. That's where those aha moments often come from. You know, you're in the shower or out for a walk, not even thinking about the problem, and suddenly, boom, the solution appears.
Right, your brain's default mode network kicking in.
Exactly. It becomes active during rest, involved in daydreaming, thinking about the future, pulling up memories. It's doing important work in the background.
Makes total sense. It's like your subconscious is cooking things up while you're not looking. And beyond just creativity, rest boosts your mood, your general well-being, too.
Significantly. A mind that's actually rested is just more capable. It can think more expansively. It can assess risks better. It's way better at emotional regulation.
Less snappy.
Definitely less snappy. And it helps quiet down that nagging inner critic we talked about. It creates a kind of psychological safety, which is huge for allowing yourself to be truly creative or vulnerable.
And crucially, burnout prevention.
Massive.
Yeah.
Our bodies give us signals all the time when we're stressed. That upset stomach, the headaches, tense shoulders, clammy hands.
Yeah, the usual suspects.
Recognizing those signals and actually responding to them by resting is key. It stops acute stress turning into chronic stress, which is where burnout lives.
And burnout isn't just feeling tired, is it?
No, it's profound exhaustion, emotional, physical. It's cynicism, feeling detached from your work or life. It's feeling less competent. And if you've dealt with the stressors, the things causing the stress, but haven't actually dealt with the stress itself in your body, your brain just won't let you properly rest. It stays on high alert.
Okay, the message is loud and clear. Rest. Not optional. It's essential. But I think for a lot of people listening, the big hurdle is how.
Right, the practicalities.
How do you actually build this into a busy life without feeling like you're just slacking off? Let's dig into some practical strategies. One really interesting idea was this recovery and rest wheel.
Ah, yes.
It basically suggests that, on average, our bodies and brains need about 42% of our time resting, which sounds like a lot. It's roughly 10 hours out of every 24 averaged out.
But the key is, it's not about just stopping completely. It's about strategically refueling.
Okay.
And right at the center of that wheel, the most powerful form of rest is sleep. Good quality sleep.
The non-negotiable 7 to 9 hours we hear about.
Exactly. And during that quality sleep, your body's repairing cells, your brain's consolidating memories into knowledge, emotions get processed, softened, your health improves dramatically.
So how do we get quality sleep?
Consistency is king. A regular nighttime routine helps signal to your body it's time to wind down. Avoid screens before bed, make sure your room is dark and cool, keep a regular sleep schedule as much as possible.
Right.
And interestingly, some research suggests the timing of sleep matters too. Getting sleep, particularly between around 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., might be especially important not just for physical repair, but for deep emotional processing in the brain.
Wow, so it's not just the number of hours, but when you get them could make a difference. Okay, what else is on this wheel?
Next up, and this one might surprise some people, physical activity. About 30 minutes.
Activity for rest seems counterintuitive.
It does.
Yeah.
But here's why. Moving your body is often the single most efficient way to complete the stress response cycle.
Yeah.
To physically move out of that fight or flight state and back towards rest.
Okay. Completing the cycle.
Exactly. But the key is, make it joyful. Not punishment. It's not about another grind. Find movement you actually enjoy.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Attentive eating. Again, maybe 30 minutes. This isn't just about what you eat, but how. Treating meals as actual nourishment. Maybe even a mini meditation.
So, no more lunch at the desk while typing.
Ideally, no. No working, no driving, no scrolling. Just focusing on the food, savoring it, being present. It signals safety to your nervous system.
Important signal. Then what?
Safe connection. Another 30 minutes or so. This means positive social interaction with people you trust, people who make you feel safe and seen.
Friends, family.
Exactly. People where you can really be yourself. This releases feel-good hormones like oxytocin. Laughter counts. Affection counts. Even hugging a pet helps. It's about feeling connected.
Connection is rest. I like that. And the last piece.
The wild card. About 30 flexible minutes. This is for anything that lets your brain just wander and activates that default mode network we talked about.
Like,
Could be meditative walking, listening to music, doodling, social play, even mindful tidying sometimes. Anything that's not goal-oriented, that allows for mental meandering. Mental rest isn't idleness. It's crucial processing time.
so that's the wheel. Are there other strategies too, beyond that structure?
Oh, absolutely. Short naps can be incredibly effective. Just 10 to 30 minutes can really boost alertness and performance, especially during that afternoon slump most of us get.
The power nap.
Exactly. And speaking of short bursts, regular breaks during your workday are vital. Our ability to focus tends to work in cycles, maybe 90 minutes on, then a natural 20-minute dip.
Right, I've heard of that.
Taking short, intentional breaks during those dips, like using the Pomodoro technique, helps you maintain focus over the long haul and stops that sharp decline in mental energy.
It's working with your brain's rhythm, not against it.
Precisely. And also learning to embrace what looks like inactivity, reverie, daydreaming.
The shower insights again.
Exactly. That creative flash you get while walking or showering, it happens because letting your mind wander, seemingly doing nothing, allows your unconscious processes to work their magic way better than forcing it sometimes. Your brain is always working, processing, even when you're not consciously thinking.
Okay. And what about specific techniques, like meditation?
Definitely worth exploring. Experiment. Try meditation apps, guided imagery, specific breathing exercises, focusing on a steady rhythm, smooth breaths, maybe nasal breathing. Even self-hypnosis can work for some. Find what clicks for you, what helps your nervous system truly downshift.
So, lots of tools. But ultimately, a lot of this seems to come back to mindset, doesn't it? And behavior.
Huge part of it. Setting boundaries, for instance. That's massive.
Saying no.
Saying no.
Yeah.
Establishing clear limits on your time and energy to manage workload and just prevent overwhelm. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation.
And what if your whole sense of self-worth is tangled up with being busy, that feeling that if you're not working, you're not valuable? Some call it obsessive passion.
That's a tough one, but crucial to tackle. You have to actively work against it. Try scheduling non-work activities first. Make them non-negotiable.
Like appointments.
Yes. Leave work at work, physically and mentally, as much as possible. Reframe those "I must do this" thoughts into "I choose to do this" or "I want to do this." Maybe invest time in hobbies, completely unrelated to your work. Diversify where your sense of self comes from.
Build a bigger identity outside of just worker.
Exactly. And finally, maybe the most important shift, self-compassion.
Treating yourself like a friend.
Yes. Reframe that harsh self-judgment. Ask yourself, what would I tell a good friend in this situation? You probably wouldn't tell them they're lazy for needing a break.
Sure.
There was a great line about inaction became its own form of self-love and reward. Shifting perspective like that is powerful. Remember, words like lazy, they're just learned concepts. You can choose not to buy into them anymore. Extend yourself the same kindness you'd offer someone else.
Wow. Okay, so this whole deep dive, it really drives home the point. Rest isn't a luxury. It's not weakness. It's definitely not laziness.
Not at all.
It's a vital, active part of your health, your relationships, your productivity, even your creativity. It's a powerful act of self-care. It's trusting your body's natural wisdom. It really feels like it's time to embrace rest as just essential for thriving, not just getting by.
It's the ultimate investment in yourself, really. Your future self will thank you.
So, thinking about all this, if rest truly is as essential as activity for a fulfilling life, what's one small, intentional shift you listening can make this week? Just one thing to start integrating more aligned rest into your life, completely free of that old nagging guilt.
Yeah,